The exclusionary rule. This rule is the mechanism by which courts seek to enforce the Fourth, Fifth, and the Sixth Amendments. This rule is a relatively recent addition to trial practice, and it comes from several Supreme Court decisions that have altered the constitutional state of criminal procedure over the last 100 years. The concept of the rule is that any evidence seized in violation of the Constitution cannot be used in the courtroom. If the government violated the defendant's rights to get evidence, then it doesn't get to use that evidence in court. Obviously, excluding evidence from the courtroom is an extreme measure, and the rule has many detractors. Nobody likes to see criminals walk free because of procedural errors. But there are others who argue that the rule is the only thing keeping constitutional violations from becoming more common. The purpose of the rule is to render any evidence collected through the government's violation of the Constitution inadmissible in court. The evidence never makes it into the courtroom and cannot be used against the defendant. It might as well have never been collected in the first place. The evidence is never even brought into existence, into awareness by the jury. The purpose is to remove any incentive to disregard the Constitution from the police or government's viewpoint. Obviously, the exclusionary rule is an extreme measure. It's a harsh remedy, and it can cause cases to be dismissed, convictions to be overturned. It's the reason that evidence seized from a car after a bad stop cannot be used against the driver. And that's the reason that police always must use proper criminal procedure. Police who collect evidence in violation of the Constitution will further taint evidence collected from that evidence. The chain of unconstitutionality will continue for as long as you cannot find an exception. We'll talk about exceptions. Remember, the exclusionary rule is the mechanism by which evidence collected in violation of the Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments are kept out of court. Convictions can be overturned years later if a violation has been discovered.